Hello everyone, we are back again. This is analysis time. This time we have for you the fifth mock in the CAT 2014 series, and we are about to discuss the questions in the VA section. Now, just to give you a small breakup of the VA and LR portion, which was section 2, here were the 35 questions. Here's the breakup of the 35 questions on the VA section. Then, apart from that, you had 15 LR questions. But then, let's discuss the VA part, the verbal ability portion. We had 16 RC questions. The first RC had 4 questions, the next one had 3, then again 4 and 5. That is the breakup of the 4 RCs, the 4 reading comprehension passages that you had on this particular mock. Now, when it comes to RCs, it's good to note, people, that RCs have been progressively becoming tougher, since you know that we try and aim to make our mocks as closest to the actual CAT paper as possible, and that is why the RCs have been copying the or have exactly been the way that the actual CAT RCs are like. So it's a good thing if you have been doing well on your recent mocks, and for this particular one they were really good passages based on eclectic reading, I should say, and so you should have done them pretty well. We'll talk about that later, but then again we had 3 fill in the blank questions. You have been getting fill in the blanks pretty often on these recent mocks. We had 2 word usage questions, 2 para-jumble questions as usual. We had 2 para-jumble questions of the odd one out, and then there were para-completion questions. We had grammar questions for you, the ones based on sentence correction. Now, even when it comes to sentence correction questions, you might have worked it out in the recent mocks that you have been getting one question which is the sentence correction type, where you have to mark out the errors in the sentences. The other sentence correction question in which a part of the sentence is underlined, and you have to figure out which of the options gives you the best replacement for that underlined part, right? Then there were 2 homonym questions. You had to know your vocabulary. I hope you have been working on that. There were 2 CR questions. Critical reasoning has always been an important part of the CAT paper. And then there were 2 para summary questions in which you had to sum up the paragraph or the passage which was given to you, right? Apart from that, as I said, we had 15 LR questions, but then right there is the breakup of section 2, which had VA and LR questions. Okay, just another note, you might have also worked this out, which is absolutely important for you, that these recent mocks have been based in a way that has a healthy selection of questions, and so it's very essential that you take these mocks absolutely seriously, which I'm sure you have been doing. And as you go through them, you will see that you are getting real help for when it comes out, when you meet the actual paper, the actual CAT paper, right? So that's the breakup, and we'll move on with our questions now.
The given paragraph here talks about a skin disease called ARS. It begins by stating the symptoms of the disease, that is swelling, itching, etc., etc. And by the end states that people who die of ARS die because their bone marrows get destroyed, which results in infection and bleeding. Right. So look at option A now. Option A says it's not easy to control thereafter. Now here the pronoun it would refer to a singular noun, while the previous statement, that is the second last line of the statement, let's read it. It says the cause of death in most cases is the destruction of the person's bone marrow, which results in infection and bleeding. Here we have 3 nouns. One is the noun could be infection as well as bleeding. So we do not know what this it refers to, whether it is destruction of a person's bone marrow, whether it refers to infection or bleeding, and therefore we can eliminate option A owing to ambiguous use of pronoun. Option B says ARS is thus a condition in which the survivors are far and few. The use of the concluding conjunction thus here suggests that this statement has been concluded from the contents of the passage, while nothing in the passage suggests that ARS is an extremely deadly disease and that its survivors are far and few. The only thing that the passage states is that the chance of people suffering from ARS decreases with increasing radiation dosage, and not that people suffering from ARS have lower chances of surviving. Right, so we can also eliminate option B because it doesn't conclude from the paragraph. Option C says this condition is common among people regularly exposed to radiation. Now, the second last line of the paragraph states that the cause of death of people suffering from ARS is because their bone marrow gets destroyed. And from here, we cannot abruptly move on to discussing who are the common sufferers of the disease. Also, as far as radiation is concerned, it is supposed to be it is supposed to be given to a patient who is suffering from the disease. So it is very unlikely that a person who is regularly exposed to radiation should suffer from disease, while the same radiation is a cure of this disease. Therefore, option C can be eliminated. Option D says patients are unable to survive the infections because of the decreasing RBCs. Here, the infection refers to the infection that has been referred to, mentioned in the second last line of this paragraph. It says that the cause of death in most cases is the destruction of the person's bone marrow, which results in infection and bleeding. And this idea can be carried forward further by option D, which states that this infection leads to a person's death because of decreasing RBCs in a person's body. So it makes complete sense, and hence is the correct answer.